Welcome to a moment of intriguing introspection beyond the realms of fear, hesitancy, and doubt. A deep dive into the questions of the ages shared with the courage that may challenge perception, yet teases open the expansive depth of conscious awareness. This is a rare and unique moment in our collective history. And beyond all sense of dogma, I am Master Lady Kira Ra, promising to call forward the essence of all that you are. Join me as I offer the latest self-ascension revelations with supportive wisdom. And why not remember that peace, love, and joy are your birthright? So this is the moment to bring your hand to your heart and to give yourself the gift of relaxing into a deep breath with a wondrous exhale. I look forward to joining you right now. Well, hey, namaste, everyone, and welcome. I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and my heart is just so grateful to be with you. You're probably wondering, hey, Kira, where are you coming from? You know, it's October 28th, 2024, and I really want to begin this episode of Expanding Consciousness by putting that down, really ratcheting that down there, and for letting you know that I am currently standing in what's known as the Lanark Highlands up here in Ottawa, outside of Ottawa, Canada, and really excited to be 100% off grid. I have not been 100% off grid since I lived in Uruguay at Terra Nostra, and it's just been wonderful to be 100% off grid up here at this extraordinarily remote mountain farm. And behind me are some of the gardens that we've been harvesting out of. And we actually had snow last night. And I wanted to capture the energy of this late fall, this energy of the majestic forest, and to begin the conversation that as winter is coming into the north and as summer is coming into the south, you know, right now at Tosa Blue Mountain in Ecuador, our summer is just beginning to rise, just as here the winter is beginning to rise. And in that energy, in the energy of the summer and the winter, in the energy of all of the seasons and all of the directions, in the energy of the bridge that is being built right now between the October 2024 experience of the balance of awe energy and the beautiful November chalice that is opening right now. We are all entering that energy of Vey. And remember, it is the awe and the Vey together that bring us to that moment of wisdom, that internal council of elders that is ready to be birthed again into the external. And I want you to really breathe that in as my hands are shivering right now. And I'm just so excited to be with you in this brisk, beautiful winter day where the snow from last night, I think, finally melted off about 30 minutes ago. And most likely we'll see more tonight as that freshness of birth comes in, as that blanket of tranquility comes in. I want to invite you into a 2-week journey with me because I'm going to be up here in the Highlands through this time, and the visions that have come through and the energy that is propelling into our planet right now and the moment before us all is so complexly weaving into this 2025 experience that as humanity, if you're catching this live or in whatever experience you will catch us in, we're going to bind this moment right here, right now. Because in this moment right now, the torrids are picking up steam. I want you to feel the bombardment. I want you to feel that. And whenever we feel a bombardment, whenever we feel overwhelmed, whenever we feel nervous, whenever we start having doubts, we look for strengths. And oftentimes we look for those strengths outside of ourselves. And it's in the seeking of the strengths from without that we begin to remember the strength within, that we begin to dive deep into our conscious awareness, into that which is there for us to manifest, to call forward, to bring in. And in this moment right now, I want to invite you into this 2-week journey of discovery of the councils of the elders, of the lineage holders that have been hiding, the ones that had given up, the ones that thought it was worthless, the ones that didn't realize happy endings are ours to create. And as I've been up here in the North, and I've been blessed to be meeting extraordinary people, people of my generation that came up here to Canada during the 70s for various reasons, from everything you can think of and beyond, to locals that have lived here their whole lives, to hearing the stories of the villages, to looking at the pristine, beautiful forest that I have the honor of being a part of, and receiving the messages from the North. And I want to go back in that because in the messages of the North, that is the wisdom keepers, the North. The North is where the wisdom lies, the elder ones, the ones who carry the white hair, the ones who walk among. And in this moment right now, remember that that recognition of the direction of the North does not necessarily have to mean that your hair needs to be white. It's a recognition, just as the snow came down last night. I realized that I was standing among the wisdom keepers, those that have hidden in the shadows. And to all of you that have hidden in the shadows, I'm inviting you to know that in the bounty of the wisdom council, in the acceptance that if you're still here, then the journey has brought you here because you are carrying a piece of a wisdom council. And that wisdom council has been played with and manipulated and had all different types of interpretations given to it. I'm going to try and move my camera just a little bit because I want you guys to just see the gorgeousness that I'm seeing. You getting some of that, right? Is that amazing? There we are. And so what has been going on with these, look at these trees. Are these not their own wisdom council? Are they not speaking to us all? Are not all of the elders saying hello? But I want to just see if I can walk over here. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Okay. I want to show you this golden torch that is just leading the way right now. And I don't think I'm going to be able to show it to you guys, but right there. and I want you to feel that energy because that's the energy. That's the reason I think that we're all here right now is to ignite this golden torch energy on behalf of carrying the northern wisdom, on behalf of looking at the types of keepers. Because in the north, people seek the day, do they not? They seek the warmth of the sun, the gold hue, the energy of the sun. But to really live in the north means you need to know how to navigate the night. Because during the day, the light is out. You can see your way and you can find. But is it not during our night, in whatever way that may be, whether that is literally, physically, emotionally, it doesn't matter. Look through all the 5 medicines. The wisdom counsels of the North are the ones that teach us how to walk through the nights and to command them, to celebrate them, to run outside naked in the snow and say, yeah, baby, this is it. To feel the presence of that, to really command the elements as much as be commanded by them. This is what a wise counsel does. You know, right now I'm wearing this, isn't this wonderful? Up here there's a lot of hand woven, and I love that this is alpaca handmade in Ecuador, and this is this beautiful, beautiful wool from right up here in Canada. This is a Quebec toque, and a very special one. And I'm sharing that because it's the councils of elders in the North that know how to keep us warm. They're the ones that have learned how to maintain the biggest fire, that carry great light, that hold the light even in times of darkness. And that in the councils that are really being invited to come forward into our world again, in our conscious awareness of how we interact. And I am getting so cold, I am going to hit pause and continue in 1 second inside. Hey there. And so sitting inside now, you can see how beautiful it is outside and cold enough that, yeah, in that wisdom council of the North, that in that wisdom council of the North, part of the wisdom is to know when to come inside. Part of the wisdom is to understand the elements rather than try to rebut them. And this is the moment that we are at. It is that moment of convergence of humanity. It is a moment where all of the journeys have brought us to that crossroad of choice with the beauty of saying, what do you want? The beauty of knowing that as much as you are commanding, you are also in the flow of the being. You know, many myths have been offered, and in my own indigenous heritage, you know, we sit in wisdom circles. And when I am blessed to sit with the Amazonian elders, and when I am blessed to sit with 27 tribes and hear them and listen to them and receive their prayers and their tears, the one thing that's always there is the respect of the elder council and the wisdom of that. You know, I think in one of my previous shows, I talked about the honor of being the beautiful godmother of this beautiful Mayan child and being up in the highlands doing ceremony to command in the baptism and knowing any of us could have been killed at any time just for doing this extraordinarily beautiful ceremony. And I'll never forget bathing the baby up there at the top of the mountain and thinking that all children should be welcomed into the world this way, where every single being that's there reminds them that they will never walk alone, that they will always have their hand, that they are part of more than just something that's for yourself, that you're part of a community, you're part of a tribe. And it's a beautiful sense of knowing. And it often takes me, and where it takes me today, as I really want to invite you into the depth of remembrance of the conscious circles of wisdom keepers. I often think about the Dogon. Many of you may know about the Dogon tribe over in Africa and their conscious connection with cosmic origin. And one of the gifts of the Dogon that has always been foremost in my conscious awareness is the fact that whenever anyone would stray, just like in that baptism, that Mayan baptism, whether I'm standing in Guatemala or Uruguay or wherever other country I've been in, it's all the same. No matter where you're standing at that moment, what the Dogon do is take that vow of you are part of something greater than just yourself. And when anyone strays or causes a violation, they all come together and they place that person in the center of the circle. And then they love them back into remembering who they are. They each remind them of the best parts of themselves. Rather than reflecting the negativity, rather than doing anything, I always go, of course, to Gandhi. An eye for an eye just keeps the whole world blind. And so when we are able to stand in our own north, in the direction of the wisdom keeper, the one who is able to walk with the light in the brilliance of the frozen, but then to dive into the majesty of the night, that which is frozen, to really pay attention and to notice that when the night comes, how do we navigate it? That really is the question of humanity. That's the question before us right now, isn't it? It's a moment of the rising wisdom councils, of coming together as a circle. And this is what the congregation of the leaders is about. It's about laying down that sense of what's in it for me. And instead of gazing at the what's in it for me, it's the how is the best we? And to look at all decisions in accordance with that. You know, I'm very, very, very blessed to mentor some very, very extraordinary people. And if you're calling for private mentoring, I actually have some openings right now. Go to shrinkira.com. And in that, in the depth of mentoring and receiving and really crying with someone and listening and being, at the end of the day, it's the depth and the acceptance of the inquiry that transcends all. The inquiry of what in me invited this to be. And I want you to really breathe that in, because when you come together on a council of elders, you are outside of I'm coming to take or I'm coming to benefit myself. You're coming for a mutual benefit of the all. And that begins with the self. You've got to arrive into a sense of wholeness. Forgive me, guys, I'm getting hot. I'm taking off layers, right? That's what we do up here. We do a lot of layers. And so you arrive into this moment. You arrive into this moment of being a whole, aware person, a whole, aware consciousness, a whole, aware being. And in that arises that wisdom counsel within, the one that begins to see that when we come together and do things because they're just the right thing to do, it's how happy endings are born, is it not? And it begins with that singular experience, the experience of bringing the self to that precipice. Because you can't step into a wisdom counsel experience unless you have walked the journey yourself. Remember that there are many that will tell you they have been on the pathway 20 years, but they're still carrying the first year's experience. Versus there are those that have 20 years experience arriving at the next gate. That's a very different journey. It's the one who sincerely arrives there with all of their armament in tow, not even aware why they're still carrying it, not even aware of why it's there, but having not given up totally, no matter what it took to get to the finish line. It's about you. You, or you would not be hearing, connecting, listening, whatever to the show. Please forward it to everybody you know, especially if you're in my age group, and I was born in 1960. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter how you arrived here. What matters is you are. Because the next step is, forgive me guys, I'm delayering, because the next step is, after you arrive here, right? After you arrive, in this place, in this experience, you're able to know, not only who you are, but why you're here. You're able to reform the body. You're able to restore your life. You're able to move and function and be. And you know what? That's part of the wisdom counsel. Part of the wisdom counsel is to step up and say, you're right. I see the vast encyclopedia Britannica of wisdom that has been your life. Look at your life right now. Look at everything you have ever done. And I want you in this moment to really take in a nice deep Ave Sa breath. I mean, really going in. Let's do that together, okay? Breathing in through the nose. Let's go in. Sa. Exhaling Sa with a smile, right? And as you're doing that, as you're really giving yourself the gift of exhaling with a smile, I want you to claim your wisdom power, the wisdom of your north, that which can walk in the light of the land of frozen and feel the warmth, and then that which can walk deeply into the night and face the harshest wind as a child naked in a rainstorm. or one that I had the blessing of baptizing on the top of a mountain. We are all in a moment of calling in a wisdom council. And so I want to backtrack as I've been taking you on this journey of the North and where I am right now on this beautiful off-grid farm, and really want to share that in the gift of that, in the gift of being able to be deep in the wisdom of the forest itself, it is the land, it is the trees, it is the roots, it is the rocks, it is every ounce of soil, it is the air we breathe, it is the color of the sky. That is the wisdom council that is yours to carry and illuminate. And then for you to arrive into the North where the council must begin, and that is why I was called here. So many visions have been coming forward, pouring forward. I've wound up with a surprising amount of private time. And every time the visions are bigger and bigger and bigger about this. It's got to start in the North. And that's why I was called here right now. Because the next episode, the next time I come to you, the Taurids are going to be bombarding. And it's going to be affecting this extraordinary experience of potentiality for the rest of our lives and beyond. This is a precipice moment. We are the drop in the water. We are that pebble. And it's starting from the pristine, beautiful, frozen world that is illuminating with golden light and has called the South. I have come and traveled from the deep South, the southern strongholds of both the Andes and the Amazon, however, truly carrying jungle medicine. And so up here, when I walk through the forest, I feel the jungle calling. And the forest reveals itself because I walk through it carrying the wisdom of the southern strongholds. When we can unify within ourselves that north, the north with the south, when we can spread our arms out, balancing the east and the west with the bridge that is upon us right now, then the wisdom councils transcend all, and this is why I'm not giving you great definitions, it transcends all of the machinations, all of the illusions, all of the myths, and you dissolve into the wisdom of your divine essence of being, the wisdom of that which you have always and will always be. But it begins in the North. So in the North right now, I want you to lift up your left hand as we come to a close. It's safe to do so, of course. If you're on a terrestrial radio station driving right now, hey, you leave those hands on the wheel for me. All right. And then for those of us that have our hands free right now, I want you to go ahead and move that left hand. There you are. And just begin to feel this beautiful, soft, this beautiful, I've really been collecting the sun today. I want you to feel the radiance. If you can just gaze in my hand. There we go. I'm going to put my hand right in the sunlight there, right? And I want you to feel this radiance, this golden pillar of light that's really been emanating in, just really emanating. And as you feel your left hand illuminating, I want you to open up your right hand. And on the right hand, I'm just receiving the gift of the energy of the waning moon. We are moving right into, within just a few short days of this experience of expanding consciousness, the moon is moving into creation, into a spirit amplification void that allows us to create whatever our heart wants to birth. I really encourage you on the 31st and the 1st, if you're catching this live, feel your hands right now. Feel your right and your left hand. Feel that energy balancing between them right now. And I want you to bring your palms together right there in front of your heart. Palms first. Woo, there we go. Bringing the hands. Wow, that feels amazing. Fingers together. And just allowing the head to bow. Allowing yourself to smile. And allowing yourself to feel the essence of the council of elders, of the wisdom, of the journey that is yours now to expand, to share in a way that is beyond where the mind would want to take it, and where all that you are is already seeing, being, knowing, and expanding. We are expanding consciousness in ways that will defy the mind, which is why the wisdom of the 5 medicines is just turning. It's a template and it's turning. And right now, bring your attention to the north. Feel the gift of that which is frozen. Feel the blue of the glaciers, the gorgeousness. Feel the chill of the brisk hands that I'm feeling right now. Feel the blessing of fresh snow against your skin. Feel the earth. And if you're blessed, go outside and feel the earth. I've been spending a lot of time laying on the ground. Gaze up at the sky and notice what you're noticing. And then, Wisdom Keeper, because part 2, we're going to dive into the southern strongholds and the essence of this Wisdom Council emergence. Right now, you dive into you, because it's time to remember, and the Wisdom Council is already calling, and you are here ready to take your seat. From all that I am, and the blessing of being gifted here in Lanark, Ottawa, Canada, to wherever your northern stronghold is right now, I invite you to breathe fresh air, look up at the trees, and watch the sky, because it's starting to reveal more, and it's all going to converge next week. I love you. Thank you for expanding consciousness with me. Visit SriandKara.com, and remember, this Sunday, if you're catching this live, this Sunday at YouTube, official Sri and Kara will be the November predictions live from here. A lot to share. I love you, and I'll see you again. Many blessings and namaste. Thank you for joining me on Expanding Consciousness. Learn more about the Yoga of Self-Ascension at SriandKara.com, and make sure you're subscribed to YouTube, official Sri and Kara. Remember, you are the gift. I love you and look forward to being with you again. Namaste.